I am so excited to go on also after all of these incredible speakers because we're going to be talking about a lot of the same things. So my hope is that it's going to be hammered in, reinforced, and also you're going to leave today with an actual actionable step-by-step spreadsheet and organizer from me because I'm a total nerd and you're welcome. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we miss in branding, why it costs us everything. So, and I know Sarah talked about, you've posted a whole bunch of things online and it just isn't converting, right? You're posting on social media all the time, you're sending out your email newsletter, but for some reason, it's not actually converting into quantifiable leads, right? So what happens is agents oftentimes chase visibility before they even have clarity. They want to pop on a viral trend. They want to be cute. They want to have their headshots, all this kind of stuff before they even know who they are, before they even know what their values are, what they stand for, what goals they want to track, like what their unique value proposition is. And honestly, we need to take a step back because what ends up happening is that agents oftentimes put out basically branded noise that breaks trust. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the problem overall is that agents oftentimes fail to align their values and their voice and their unique value proposition with their visual identity. And you're like, Winnie, I don't necessarily know how to do that. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that. And what happens is they oftentimes have bad or inconsistent branding and design. And what that does, once again, is breaks trust. So think about, have you ever seen like a cringe graphic design, like a cringe post on social media, or just like super ugly yard signs? And you're like, who cares? Or it's just a sea of sameness. We're going to talk about that. And then they never take the time to actually build a sustainable strategy. One that is not just, and I love what Sarah was talking about, but like a sustainable strategy that not just converts leads, but actually is reflectant of you, right? Like people want to see, all of our clients, they want to kind of peek behind the curtain. They want to know who we are. And that means that sometimes we have to be a little bit vulnerable. So what so many agents put out really is branding without a backbone. It has no soul, it has no depth, it has nothing that actually says who you are and what you bring to the table. So, and your clients can feel it, which that's really what we miss about branding and why it costs us everything is that your clients know that something is amiss, something doesn't feel right. It just feels generic. And if you're giving generic, you're giving ick. Anybody knows that characteristic? So I founded REM Real Estate Marketing a couple of years ago because I found that I had so many amazing agent friends. They were putting out tons and tons of content, and I saw them and I was like, you're such an incredible agent. You bring so much value and energy to your clients. But every time I saw their stuff on social media or saw their email newsletters, I was like, oh, you could do better. So that's why I created this and created the branding series. And I've helped over 1,000 agents build their brand strategy so that it looks like them, feels like them, sounds like them, acts like them, and then it actually converts as well. So what we're gonna do today is talk about how to create that consistency to build trust in your brand. So the first step is take the time to actually align. So it takes really purposeful time. Has anybody in here taken the class 6 Personal Perspectives? Cool. Next time it comes to your office, I really, really recommend taking it. My favorite perspective is called E to P, moving from E to P, and that means moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. And that's one of the things that so many agents do not take the time to do when it comes to building out their visual identity, their brand identity, their voice, their values, etc., and then leading into the content strategy, because it's all aligned, you guys, but you have to start with who am I? What are my values? What are my unique skills, gifts, passions, hobbies? What am I bringing to the table that makes me me and makes me stand out? So when I think about your brand alignment, it's how you are and how you present yourself to the world. And you want to make sure that those are really consistent overall. So fun stat for anybody that likes stats, 92% of marketers believe that authenticity is a crucial part of your brand identity. So if you're not actually aligning who you are with your brand identity, your visual identity, you are missing a step through the process. So I'm going to give you guys a quick call to action for step 1, and that is to identify 3 values, 2 passions, and 2 skills that you're bringing to the table. So 3 values, 2 skills, and then 2 passions. So for instance, I don't know if you guys can tell, I like rock and roll. I post about it. I love shows. I go to shows all the time. And so my clients, even though they don't necessarily like rock and roll, what they see is that's so winning. That's so winning. And they know that they can trust me because I'm showing up the same way every single solitary time, right? So whenever you do that, it makes your brand more believable. And that, once again, when your brand is believable, when it's consistent, you're building trust. And we know that clients do business with those they know, like, and trust, right? All right, the next thing is focusing on design. I wish I had more slides because I do this as like a longer version and I show you guys a whole bunch of cringe graphic design and everybody's like, ugh, gross, that's disgusting. And just to let you guys know, some people in this room and in this audience also have kind of a little cringe designs. So design is the visual language of credibility. What that means is that your design actually matters. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just gonna use some template. Or, oh, I'm just gonna like put something on the page, maybe for my yard sign. I just want it to say for sale. It's like, but once again, design is the visual language of credibility. So if your design is, once again, inconsistent or bad, what you're saying is that your brand is inconsistent or bad. I hope that that's not the case. So when you think about that, it's your brochures, your yard signs, your visual identity. It's also your email newsletter. It's also your voicemail message. It's also just the consistency, even if you're using the same font, the same color, the same this, the same that, for every single element of your brand identity. It's even part of your follow-up system. Are you more concierge or are you a little bit more laid back? I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm a little bit more chill. So like that's gonna play into how I communicate to my clients. Now, show of hands, even though I can barely see anything. Okay, show of hands, who in here thinks that your brand is clean and modern? Raise them up high, be proud. Clean and modern is a thing. Now, let me ask you guys, like, how do you stand out in a sea of sameness? Because so many agents do have more clean, modern designs. I will tell you guys right now, mine, maximalist, rock and roll, vintage. Like these are things that reflect me. So, and you guys might not have quite as bold of a personality as me, but you guys, everybody has something, right? Maybe you're like, I'm a gardening guru, I crush it. Or like, I'm a book club wonder. Whatever it is, like lean into what that is and make it not just part of your content strategy, but also part of your visual identity. So design isn't just like an aesthetic, which I think a lot of people think it is. It's a signal. So once again, if your brand is bad or inconsistent, people are going to think that you're also bad or inconsistent. And 94% of first impressions are actually design related. So if you think to yourself, oh, it's not that important, I beg to differ. It truly is. 94%. They're judging you right out the gate. So make sure that you're like giving them a good show. So a couple years ago, or a few years ago, when I joined Keller Williams, I decided, I was like, oh, I get to have my own brand now, which is one of the things that I love about this company is that we get to brand ourselves. And I was going around and I was going to do something related to Charleston. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, which is the most beautiful, wonderful place in the world. And I was like, oh, I wanted to make it Charleston, right? Which is very like beachy, historical, blah, blah, blah. Now, you guys, I'm an 11th generation Charlestonian. I love my city. I know my city. I am deeply invested in my city. And that's boring. Every other agent in the world is like putting waves and seashells and palm trees on everything. Like, who cares? I'm going to get so lost, right? But what is unique about me? My name is Winnie. I have red hair. I have tattoos. And I cuss sometimes, but I'm not allowed to today. So I went ahead and I leaned into my actual brand identity and what I wanted to do. So I had a tattoo artist draw me as a pinup girl, which is basically every rock and roll girl's dream. And I put my pinup girl on everything. You guys, the split second I did that, people just started coming to me. One of my good friends in Nashville, Mike French, it was so funny. I was like, the weirder I am, the more money I make. And what I mean by that is the more that I lean into who I am, the more people are actually drawn and magnetized to me, as opposed to me singing for my supper and having to go get them. Does that make sense? So I built out my complete marketing strategy, my brand strategy, started to like send out postcards and stuff. And then I would literally get calls from my postcards or yard signs. This is a direct quote. You guys ready? Direct quote. You don't look like those boring realtors. I want to work with you. I'm like, it worked. That's exactly what I'm going for. I'm not boring. You nailed it. I got it. That's what we want people to know. Like, it's like you want them to know who you are before they even meet you. Like, I've had so many people say to me, you look just like your headshot. Thank you. I know that that's not everybody in here. Some of y'all don't, right? Or like, wow, Winnie, this is exactly how I expected you to be. I know, I'm the same all the time. Isn't that nice? And it's also sustainable, right? I don't have to think about what to post. I don't have to think about like what to do. So we want to make sure that your brand is consistent to who you are. So your next call to action is build out your brand guidelines. Make sure that you're using the same colors, 4 maximum, 3 is preferred. I teach a whole class on this. Your brand colors, your fonts, your headshots. Also, as an aside, we do not just do 1 to 2 headshots. We do a brand photo shoots now, right? We do props. We do looking away. We do looking at. We do smile. We do not smile. We do phone. We do laptop. Those types of things. And you might be spending like $1,000, and I'm sorry, but it'll help your brand. So trust me. So build out your brand guidelines. And then if you're not the one that's running the play, send those guidelines to your team that's running the play. So don't worry, like you don't have to be the person that's like doing every single solitary thing. All right. And then the next one is strategize or die. And this is just a callback to skate or die, which anybody in here know that reference? Yeah, see? Like we know it. So that's the thing is that's a skater reference, right? So I'm like an 80s, 90s baby. So skate or die is like a thing that dudes that I had crushes on had on their t-shirt. So when we talk about your strategy though, I want you to think about it just like what Sarah was saying, like, oh, if you don't know what to post. Here's the thing, if you don't know what to post, it's because you don't have a strategy. And Sarah gave you some good ideas on how to do that, like identifying who your audience is and speaking to that one person. I love that. But if you don't have a content strategy, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of feedback on what that could look like. And also, because I'm a nerd, an organizer to help you build that out. So your content strategy tells you what to post, but also my favorite part, what not to post. There's certain things that are sacred to you that you do not need to share with the entire world. I think it was Antoinette that said something about authenticity does not mean that everybody has carte blanche access to you. So just keep that in mind as well, that your strategy also is like what you won't post. Your strategy is not just a calendar. And I think that's what a lot of people think, that your content strategy is a calendar. It isn't. It is your voice, your goals, your audience, and then your platforms. So your calendar or your content strategy should ask, what am I posting? Why am I posting it? But here's the next part. The most important part is, what do I want the person to feel, believe, or do after they see it? What do I want them to feel, believe, or do? So real quick, I'm going to share with you like elements of a content strategy. And then I'm going to share with you mine so that you can see it. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so Winnie. So a content strategy has your pillars, your content pillars. And that is the what and why are you posting? The what and why. The next thing is it's going to have what your platforms are. And that is the where and how. Where and how are you posting? So that could be blogs, like Zach was talking about. That could be newsletter. I love newsletters. They're one of my favorites. And definitely remember that we are doing long form content strategy so that we can repurpose it for our short short form so that we can get really consistent SEO and GEO. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore me. I'm going to go fast. Okay. The next thing is your content strategy should also outline what your cadence is going to be. Are you posting 3 times a week, 1 time a week, 1 time every 6 minutes, whatever that is. So make sure that whatever it is that it's really consistent, because that's the most important part. And then your content strategy is a system. Here's another thing too is I personally don't believe that you should follow trends because trends confuse your strategy. Trends confuse your clients. If a trend can be in line with one of your values, one of your passions, or one of your unique skills, strengths, then fine, go for it. But if it is outside of what your actual value system is and your skill set, then do not go on a trend. I literally just think to myself, like, I'm not trying to sing for my supper, and I don't think you should either. So next, I'm gonna show you guys, so this is a little bit of what my content pillar and strategy looks like. So first, everybody get out your phone. I'll wait. I want you to scan this QR code. This is just gonna go to a little form, and you're gonna have a complete spreadsheet organized with a content strategy. I know, I'm so nerdy. You're gonna have my version of it, a blank version, and then my actual 83 touch plan that I do that includes events, newsletters, postcards, etc. So real quick, let me just show you guys, this is my content strategy. So these are my 5 main pillars. Obviously real estate is one, duh. And your community should be the other one. So real quick, real estate should be one of yours, your community should be another one. Then you have an opportunity to bring in what your other unique skills are. One of my other unique skills is that I have a lot of agents that are in my world, in my database, and I teach and train. So that's part of my content strategy because I want people to know that about me and I want, to teach in other cities. And then my other 2 that are basically the ones that are just so unique to me that bring people into my organization and just into my world in general is growth and edge. So these are just what I call them, but I'm a growth-oriented person, yoga, metaphysical stuff. Like I just want to go to like a silent meditation retreat, I don't know, in the desert, like weird stuff like that. But here's the thing, once again, it might not connect to my audience, but they are connecting to me through it, even if it isn't something that they're interested in. And then the edge part. And the edge part really overlaps with Charleston oftentimes as well, because a lot of my clients are going to be like, Winnie, what's the best rooftop bar in Charleston? I'm like, okay, it's Dewberry, 280-degree views. You can see the Ravenel Bridge. You can see the sunset on the harbor, everything like that. So these are, once again, creating consistency on how and why my clients might even want to communicate with me. Does that make sense? Okay, so your call to action is scan the QR code. All right, and I'm gonna wrap up here by just kind of sharing that you don't need more posting, like you don't need to post more. And I hope that there's some people in the audience that are like, thank goodness, because I don't wanna post more. I don't wanna post more at all. But what you do need to do is post with more depth. Like have your brand be more depth. Have your brand be better. Have your graphic design be stronger. Actually think about it. Maybe consult someone on what it looks like. Have it be more consistent. Most importantly, have it be more you. Like for instance, the black that I use is not black. The black that I use is Charleston green because that is a Charleston color. And I'm from there, right? So think about like how important these things can be to you and how they can show up to your clients. So really what we miss about branding is that it isn't about looking the part, it's about living the part. And the design really does matter. And that we should focus on building your actual strategy versus trends. And I want to remind you guys that clarity builds trust and that consistency builds confidence. So I want you to be yourself, show yourself, be your brand, be consistent, and let the business come to you by being weird. Thank you.